Welcome and hello, everyone. My name is Kit Unger, and I'm the VP of Product Design here at Mural. Thanks so much for joining us today as we close out this season of MURAL Imagine. We're going to use this session as a time to reflect on the year and how the pandemic and working remotely have really accelerated the future of work and visual collaboration. So for the next 45 minutes or so, we'll highlight some of the top moments in visual collaboration that you may have missed in the product this year. We'll share some of the ways we've been listening to requests from you all in the community. And finally, we'll also share our vision for visual collaboration in 2021 and the features that we hope and think will get you really excited about working with Mural. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the co-founder and head of product here at Mural, Agus Soler. Agus has led the development of the product since day one. Agus, welcome.
Thank you, Kit, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you to all our customers, partners, the community. It's incredible to see you all here. 2020 has been a really intense year, not only for Mural, but for the whole world. But we're really happy about, like, business-wise, how good this year has been for Mural. Just to put you an example out there, like we grew from 100 people in January to more than 350 muralistas, as we call Mural employees, along the year. So it has been a really transformational year for all of us. Also, just talking about number of sticky notes added to a mural or to Mural in general, this year we've seen an increase of 10x compared to 2019. So it has been really massive. And I'm really glad to see customers, like really large customers such as Spotify, Zapier, Emerson, ThoughtWorks, embrace visual collaboration. So I'm really glad to be here.
Awesome. So it's only fitting to start our year in review back in the days before a lot of the world was really thinking seriously about COVID and remote work. Agus, can you talk a little bit about how teams were working with Mural and thinking about their digital collaboration investments in January and February, which feels like forever ago?
Yeah, it feels a long time ago. Yeah. But even though the world changed drastically in 2020, and especially for companies like Mural, that we were embracing remote collaboration before COVID, we had early champions embracing this type of working before COVID, before March, before February. These people understood, at these companies, these teams understood that the traditional way of collaborating, especially when you had distributed teams or collocated teams, it was a little bit messy. It was really challenging, and they were looking for solutions like Mural out there. So actually, 2019 was a really great year for us as a company. In fact, we did a Series A in 2019. So we were doing well before COVID. We were really seeing teams embracing this way of working. So around this time, teams were looking for Mural to work on design thinking, agile ceremonies, innovation methods. When they were trying to do generative sessions, they looked at solutions like Mural to work on this. So the features that we added along the first quarter of the year were mostly around embracing in-person collaboration, but at the same time, the fact that there were distributed teams in different companies. So as an example, we released a functionality that allows you to send a full room of murals from your mobile device to a touch screen inside that normally are present in meeting rooms. So we could blend the digital collaboration with in-person collaboration. We also released our beta version of Mural Scan that allows you to fully scan a whiteboard with sticky notes and drawings and digitize it so you can continue collaborating remotely with a remote team. And another highlight around this time is we released find and filtering content inside a mural that allows you to synthesize content and find patterns inside a mural.
Mm-hmm. So, it sounds like even before COVID, then there was a sense of pain around collaboration and the ways people were working together.
Yeah, definitely. We were seeing that. and and collaboration in person is hard, and when being remote, it's challenging too. But if done correctly, it can be much more productive than in-person collaborating in many cases. So we were seeing teams struggling with, especially when trying to run generative sessions. Normally, when you're doing a brainstorming session, there was a lack of methodology or lack of even time boxing meetings and workshops. And normally, the loudest voice in the room gets the vote or the best ideas out there. So definitely, there were already pain points that people were understanding and trying to solve for. Um, but also there was this belief that it would be impossible to replace in-person collaboration, like physical collaboration. And of course, along 2020, we were in a way forced to embrace that. But I believe, based on the stories that I've seen and the numbers that I've seen, that that teams like actually adapted and thrived during the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, what you were just describing really resonates with me because, I was leading a large experience design team at another organization during this time before I joined Mural. And we had a co-located team. We all sat together with physical whiteboards all around us. We had in-person workshops and reviews. Everything was done in person. But it was still far from perfect. And we had that hippo problem as well, like the highest paid person's opinion driving too many decisions and some of the other pain points you described. And then when we were forced to work remotely, we had to quickly figure out like how to have these workshops online and visually collaborate. And what we found was that our design workshops actually were better with a platform like Mural. And it also opened up the doors for us to hire people anywhere. So let me ask you, what were you prioritizing on the product roadmap during this time of suddenly remote transition? How did Mural balance the demand from different teams new to visual collaboration versus your existing customer base from the beginning of the year?
So there was an important aspect that as a company we embraced early on, is that we as a company, Mural, we were a remote company before 2020. This is something that we've been doing for many years. So in a way, that helped us help other teams and companies embrace this type of working. So the transition from, so we have an office in Buenos Aires. We used to have an office in San Francisco, and but we did a smooth transition. It was always an optional office, right? We did a smooth transition to being fully remote, and we dedicated ourselves to helping others, right? And what we saw was there were like two type of companies, teams. One type that were already had already embraced remote work. So to give you an example, like IBM, they were already doing this type of work before COVID, so they were prepared for the transition. But there were many companies and teams that they found themselves, as we said, like suddenly remote, right? So around this time, we really focused on helping those companies and teams, right? We actually released a suddenlyremote.com website with a lot of educational content, access to webinars, because people were looking for ways to understand how to collaborate remotely, not only use Mural, right? Like, but how do I collaborate remotely? How do I work remotely? So at this time, we also decided to offer a 90-day free trial. So normally we offer a 30-day free trial, but we said like in around March and April that it was time to offer an extended trial because the transition for many companies was a little bit harder. And as you can imagine, we saw a huge demand everywhere, even in support tickets, right? Um, but just usage-wise, we saw a 15x increase compared to February. If you compare April with February, it was a massive change.
Wow.
So we had to adapt as a company also really fast. But functionality-wise, and going back to your question, what we saw is that we need to prioritize education, methods, and what we call our facilitation superpowers. So in order to help teams embrace collaboration by being remotely, we believe that facilitation, proper facilitation, is key. That's why we incorporated that user role in Mural a couple of years ago, because we understand that sessions, workshops, meetings that are properly facilitated have much better outcomes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah, so let me add something more there.
Mhm.
So feature-wise, I mean, we have the facilitation superpowers, as we call them. So some of the features that we added are, for example, we have a feature that our customers really appreciate, that's called visitors. So when I send you a link to a mural, you can enter that mural and collaborate without creating an account. So it's like a fast way to collaborate inside a mural. So what we decided was, okay, we want to provide more value to that feature. So we changed, and when those users enter a mural, they used to be anonymous animals, right? So we added the possibility to name yourselves. Why? Because we believe that when you're running a workshop, it's much more valuable, of course, to be able to identify the participants in the workshop, right? But we also combine this functionality with what we call Quick Talk. Quick Talk is essentially we added voice chat inside Mural. So our thinking was these teams would be creating a free trial, and with a couple of clicks, they would be sending a visitor link, and right away they would be able to collaborate high fidelity voice inside Mural, right? So that's our thing. Like, how can we onboard people to visual collaboration, remote collaboration really fast? Other functionality that we released along the year related to facilitation superpowers are, for example, something that we call private mode. So, and all in this direction of what we call guided teamwork. One of our strategic initiatives along the year has been what we call guided teamwork. So providing best practices inside the product for productive collaborative sessions with great outcomes. So private mode allows you to do silent brainstorming sessions inside a mural. So you can add ideas, and those ideas are private until the facilitator decides that it's the post-up moment and the sharing moment. In that direction, we also added what content library, so you can save parts of a mural and reuse those parts, even with instructions in the content, in other workshops that you might run, or in other sessions that you want specific parts of a mural, or methods that you save for yourself. Two more things that I'm going to mention around this time. One, we released a learn section inside the product. Again, we had to educate people how to collaborate remotely. And the last one, it's all about, like, one pain point that we saw is that while having remote sessions, engagement was essential, right? So it is, and this year we released a feature called Celebration that allows you to celebrate specific moments during a meeting, right? And in this direction, when I get to the last part of the webinar, when I'm going to talk about what's coming next, we have many ideas and things to come on keeping participants engaged during sessions.
Wow. That's awesome. You were busy this year. I love all of our facilitation superpowers, and particularly love the celebrate feature. I think that's so much fun. Okay, so we've now talked about some of the features you were prioritizing because of the new users and use cases for Mural. Can you talk about some of the behind the scene changes people might not have even been aware of we were making?
Yes, a couple of highlights. So first thing that I want to mention is that in Mural, we serve large enterprise customers. So there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that maybe, like, facilitators and participants never get to experience. But security compliance has been top of mind for us, and we've been investing heavily in that direction. But I'm going to just mention that and talk about that later in the vision section. But the two big investments that we've done along the year, one is performance inside the mural canvas specifically. We actually released a new rendering engine in June, and performance is an ongoing topic because, and one of our strategic vectors, it's called the visual thinking canvas, and the thinking piece, right, is essential. And for us to actually achieve that vision of having a canvas that helps people and teams get to better ideas, like the tool cannot get in the way, right? And performance was a topic that we addressed and we will keep addressing along the way, because collaboration has to be super smooth. The second topic that I want to mention is like infrastructure wise, uh, like almost no business or no product is prepared to for such a surge in usage from one week to the next one, because it was like that. So we've done massive investments in our infrastructure to support real-time collaboration at scale. So those two things are some of the highlights, the behind the scene highlights. And ultimately what we saw is that, so an indicator that we use in the product to measure the experience in general, it's NPS, Net Promoter Score. And what we saw along the year is that we increased, like our NPS grew by almost 20% along the year. So all these investments have been paying off, at least if you take a look at these indicators. There are other, but this is an example that I wanted to mention.
Great. Okay, so let's move on to later in 2020. So in our 2020 timeline, we collectively all understand the way we work has in many ways changed forever. So in terms of how we were collaborating and working before, a lot of people don't want to go back to how things were. So at this point around July, August, September, we at Mural were seeing more and more teams embedding visual collaboration really strategically into their workflows. And they were getting more sophisticated in their feature and template usage and adoption. So what were some of the highlights that you saw around this time from our community of changemakers? I know we featured several during Mural Imagine talks in the past month, but you probably have some other inspiring stories you can share.
Yes, I mean, just seeing so many companies and teams and individuals embrace this type of working along the year has been humbling for us. I mean, we've been investing as a founder, right, in this company, in this product for many years. And one of our company values actually it's adapt to thrive. And I see that so many people this year have to adapt and to thrive in this new environment. So I'm really proud and humbled by our community in general, and mural members in general. So some highlights that I've seen. So our consultant network, our MCN, has grown massively this year, and I love when I see uh, workshops being run by consultants, and the outcomes of these workshops being shared in social media such as LinkedIn. So for example, the Sandy Lam or Robert Scrope with the Global Virtual Design Sprint, they constantly share how they how they run their workshops. And for me, it's like, as a product person, that's like the best thing that you can see. Other highlights, like our largest customers such as Spotify, they've been like, and this has been featured in Mural Imagine, right? They've been running OKRs uh, completely remotely via Mural, and they've been really, really successful. Companies such as ThoughtWorks, as I mentioned, Zapier, this have been featured in Mural Imagine, that you can watch those talks. They are recorded and in our website. But also Emerson, they've been doing usability tests with Mural online. So again, I've been humbled by the community and seeing how they've been using the product. For me, it's like immense. Actually, one of the largest consultants in the world, they are a Mural customer. They expressed that before Mural, they were running workshops, one or two workshops per week, and now they can do that at a per day fashion. Like if you use it correctly, like productivity can increase drastically. So as I mentioned, community has been really big. We have been incorporating more and more templates that we co-created with our community, and we will keep investing in that front along 2021. Actually, we hired a chief community officer that's reporting to the CEO. So we are making massive investments in that front that I will share in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I've done some work with Paul Estes, our new chief community officer. He's fun to work with. So what are some of the features that Mural added to make this deeper connection between visual collaboration and other collaborative workflows?
Yes, so integrations has been uh, so one of the let me rephrase that. So one of the our product design principles that we have is go with the workflow. So we understand we cannot do everything in Mural, even though it's a pretty horizontal solution as a whiteboard. So integrations have been key for us. We released a number of integrations along the year to support certain workflows, and we will keep investing in that front along 2021. We'll see massive improvements. But some of the features that we released content integrations such as OneDrive, Google Drive, and Adobe Creative Suite integrations that allow you to bring your content from those sources into Mural and visualize it in Mural. But also we released a new version of our Jira integration. Even QuickTalk, it's an integration with Dolby that they provide us the APIs to support voice inside a Mural. And moving forward, we already announced this, but we are working on a Zoom integration that will allow you to make it super easy to participate in brainstorming sessions within Zoom, and also on a Cisco WebEx integration. So integration with video conferencing tools and solutions, it's a big topic for 2021.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing when that comes out. Okay, so naturally, as a company, we're very interested in the topic of the future of work, and we have a lot of opinions and predictions. Can you share some of your thoughts on how we're thinking about the future of work and how that's shaping our roadmap?
Yes, we have a ton of opinions on the future of work. So there are a couple of themes that I want to share. The first one, it's asynchronous collaboration and storytelling leading to more deep thinking moments. So what does this mean? So I believe that we believe that in 2020, we did the transition to remote, and we were having a lot of meetings, right? In some cases, back-to-back meetings. So there will be moments for that, and I'll talk about that later. But I believe that there is an opportunity to deliver features and capabilities to support asynchronous collaboration and storytelling. So that will be a topic for 2021 in for Mural.
Mhm.
But why? Because also one thing that we notice is that with all these video conferencing meetings, there is less time for deep thinking. We end up, well, I end the day exhausted, and before I could have more time for deep thinking, even though we're remote, right? But especially if you have families, etc., like it's really hard to concentrate. So a couple of investments in this front, as I mentioned, the visual thinking canvas is one of our strategic vectors, and we really want to help teams come up with many ideas, but also synthesize ideas and get to outcomes and solutions to hard problems. We believe that we are in a perfect opportunity to start adding functionality and capabilities to do so. So we will see a lot of investments in that front that I believe will add a ton of value to our Mural members. And the other topic around deep thinking is we will continue investing on reducing tool time, because we believe that in order to use a solution to come up with great ideas, like the solution should never get in the way. So I mentioned performance, but we're improving diagramming, sketching, usability in general, so that you will see a lot of, of improvements in this direction. The second theme, and probably you might be asking, okay, but what about like actually meetings and sessions, right? Uh, yes, one of our product principles, and I mentioned a couple of principles so you understand how we think in the product organization, is we want to make work playful. We really believe that fun, engaging meetings are really great, especially for generative sessions that you want to come up with radical ideas. So teams collaborating in a playful way, it's the way we want to move forward. So we are investing on functionality to make them more playful, okay? But at the same time, we want to make it super easy to join a session and contribute. So actually, in our Zoom integration, we are already investing on what we call contribution mode that allows you to collaborate even without entering the full mural, similar to having a post-it stack, a sticky note stack, and sharing to a mural. So in that direction, there are many things that will be delivered along 2021. Another thing that I want to mention is deeper collaboration in the enterprise. So as I mentioned, like we really invest in serving large companies, security, compliance. These are top of mind for us. Actually, this year we released the company dashboard. We onboarded our first bring your own key customers. We released a company insights dashboard to multiple improvements for our enterprise network customers, and this will continue along 2021. I mean, we want to serve. We believe we are partners in transformations for these large companies, and we want to keep investing in that front. And the last theme, uh, we call it community or putting people in the product. So we want to keep investing in templates, improving the templates that we have, adding more functionality to templates, adding more education inside the product. And we want to make some bets around bringing people in the product, facilitator, our experts community, to allow them to be present in the product experience. So muralists, like mural members that are engaging with mural, can actually maybe contact a facilitator or have a conversation with an expert in retrospectives in design sprint. So we will make multiple investments in that front. So these are the four, I would say, themes: asynchronous collaboration with deep thinking, fun, easy to join meetings, deeper collaboration in the enterprise, and putting people in the product.
Wow, a big year ahead for us and
Yes.
all of our users and community. So going back to the our design principles, you were talking about play, and I love all of our design principles. And one of my favorites is make work playful. And I'm a big believer that fun is a really important ingredient for work, and it just helps people be more creative and more engaged, and it helps people learn and just be more productive and less stressed. So I guess it's time to move on to the audience Q&A at this point. So let's move over there. I'm just kind of reviewing some of the Q&A here. Hold on one second. My screen is little. Okay, so here's one from Kumar. So you mentioned that the number of sticky notes added to Mural has increased tenfold. Are you able to track company teams' use of Mural?
At a general level, yes, we try to understand the engagement in general, how teams and companies are using Mural. And yes, the answer is yes.
Great. Okay, another one from Antonio. Did you say there will be Teams integrations?
So we actually have if you're referring to Microsoft Teams, we do have a Microsoft Teams integration, sorry, that you can use right away. Along 2021, there will be improvements in that integration, but the current integration allows you to open a mural in a tab inside Microsoft Teams, so you can collaborate directly without leaving Microsoft Teams.
Great. Another one from, let's see, Antonio. He'd love to know when functional breakout rooms will be available. He knows they were in beta last year, but that has been a sticky point to increase team work and ideation sessions.
So I don't know where you heard that they were in beta last year, but breakout rooms, it's a topic that we get a lot of questions about. I do think it's a solution to a problem, breakout rooms. And I don't think that breakout rooms as implemented in most of the solutions, it's the best way of approaching that that dynamic. We are thinking about experimented actually with different possibilities around spatial audio inside a mural, etc. But we don't have a release date for the breakout rooms topic uh, as of today.
Okay. So I'm not sure how to, Idwer, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but when are you going to support direct two-way integration with Azure DevOps?
So we have that integration planned for the first half of 2021. We've been focusing on improving our Jira integration first, but all our learnings will be translated to Azure DevOps. It's actually the fifth most requested integration in Mural that we get from our integrations page. So you will have an Azure DevOps integrations soon.
All right, and a question from Alfonso. We have an issue running Mural in remote settings in Africa with low bandwidth connection. Or can you think of any solutions? Like, for example, is there a possibility to use a lighter Mural version?
We we never thought about that possibility. We understand the problems that you might be facing, but I would love to explore that idea more. One thing that I do think will help is the contribution mode that we're working on that will allow you to contribute in mural without entering the full mural. But that's an interesting idea. I it got me thinking. So thank you, Alfonso.
Okay, so from Reza, are there any limits to the number of private rooms one can set up? She's been doing the free trial thing.
No, there is no limits. Neither in the free trial or once you become a paying customer. So, or at least we haven't faced any challenges with number of private rooms.
Okay. Is there a master mural where all customers can go and drop ideas for your product team to consider? This is from Antonio.
So no, there isn't. You would need proper facilitation probably, but all our all the customer feedback and ideas normally we get it via customer support, or you can you can set it via our support chat in within the product. And actually, I wrote a Medium article that you can find making sense of customer feedback, that you can see how we process all that feedback, and that gets prioritized by the product teams. So no, we don't have a master mural, but if you want to send feedback, it will get to us and to the product teams.
Great, and maybe somebody on the call from Mural, if you have that link, you can drop it in the chat that Agus was talking about. That'd be super helpful. Okay, let's see. Another question from Sean is, how does your own team use Mural?
So we use Mural for almost everything. The product organization uses Mural to, and I should definitely do a blog post about this because it's super interesting, but we use it to plan the year, to plan the quarter, for OKRs, for our product meetings that we do at a bi-weekly uh, fashion. Like we have a mural with specific instructions and steps that we follow in every product meeting. We also use mural to discuss design. So when a PM and a designer are working on a new opportunity, the default is to open a mural, list the personas, the jobs to be done. Then we actually do brainstorming sessions, ideation sessions within the mural. So we use it essentially. We use design thinking in mural. So we essentially do use it for every activity in the double diamond. And I would definitely I would definitely, I think I'm gonna share this in a blog post really soon because I think it's worth it.
Definitely. That is going to be something definitely worth reading for sure. I've just since starting at Mural, the number of use cases I use it for has just grown dramatically. I mean, I use it for everything, like you're saying, you know, every part of the design thinking process, and it helps me think, it helps me brainstorm and synthesize and analyze, and like even just taking notes during meetings just somehow makes it sink in better, helps me learn. Okay, so next question from Michael. Facilitation superpowers should have a discount model for paying users. I guess this isn't a question, it's more of a statement. He's saying facilitation superpowers are too expensive. Do you have a reaction to that?
We don't charge for facilitation superpowers specifically, but I don't know. I mean, it's a matter of value. I always say that it's not that it's expensive or cheap. It's whether you're getting enough value. Probably you aren't in this case, and I would love to help and see how can you get more value from the solution.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Aluwatobi, again, apologies if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. Are you planning on integrating with Microsoft Teams? I think you talked about
Yeah,
that earlier.
we have a Teams integrations as I mentioned, but we will improve it along 2021.
Okay. Another question from Michael. When do we get more sorting options for our murals, like alphabetical? Please set your focus to basic stuff than to fancy ones.
Yes, yes, super. It's a fair ask. We actually almost released alphabetical sorting this year due to some technical constraints. We had to push it to next year. But yes, I understand. That's why we are focusing on usability. We are focusing on performance. We the basics need to be in place before we do more fancy stuff. But luckily, we have the bandwidth to do both things at the same time. And but we are investing a lot on the more basic stuff as we call as you can call it. But yes, Michael, thank you.
Yes, and I can attest to that. I just hired somebody who's going to be who is working on this very problem.
Exactly.
Okay, so from Jeremy, how in the world do you prioritize all of the great ideas that you get for product enhancements? Is there a true north? We could all use help for this in our work.
Yes. So a couple of years ago, I actually shared an article on this. It changed quite a bit, but there was there was some thinking that like some of the things that I shared there, we still do. We essentially um, so there's this, and I can do another session on this, but there's this. It's a combination of the company strategy that leads to the product strategy with these strategic vectors that I mentioned. But at the same time, we have a couple of indicators that we strive to move. One around usage, we call it weekly active collaborators, how many people are collaborating on a given week. Then we have an indicator around revenue per member. So how many, and the drivers to that is conversion between plans, etc. And then we also pay a lot of attention to what's driving on the enterprise front, what's driving lost opportunities and what's making certain opportunities for big deals get stuck in the pipeline. And then NPS, like we use like the experience, it's a north star for us. Like even though when you improve the experience in general, it affects other indicators such as usage. But there are things that you might do to increase retention and engagement that not necessarily are improving a usability, solving a usability issue, etc. So we do want to have an amazing experience. That's why we have a like independent indicator to track how well we're doing experience-wise. So with a combination of all that, and then we apply OKRs, we prioritize what we're gonna work each quarter. So I can do an extended session on that topic because it's something that I really like and I constantly think about.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be super helpful for all product teams. Here's a question from Mojka. One of the main issues we experienced during the training is the canvas limitation. We would love to have one mural for the whole training so participants can see their progress and work. Are you maybe considering expanding the size of
Yes.
the canvas?
So this is actually it's in development right now. So I can confirm that not only expanding the size of the canvas, but also allowing you to resize it from any edge. So both things are on the way. So and this, I mean, in the next couple of weeks, you will see this available. And yeah, we're working on that.
And for those of you who don't know, like you can right click a canvas and edit the size, but like Agus was saying, you know, those enhancements are coming soon. Okay, so Gay is asking about an integration with Smartsheet, which I think would be awesome. I was at Smartsheet before joining Mural.
So just with my product hat on, like we are not prioritizing right now an integration with Smartsheet. We are prioritizing other solutions, other tools. But definitely we had a request. Like we've been working at Mural, like working with with Mural for many years now. So we heard and we received requests for every single integration out there, but Smartsheet is not one of the most popular ones, based on just a matter of quantity.
Sure.
So I cannot promise that we're going to work on a Smartsheet integration in the short term.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Larry is asking, okay, seeking a basic text grid that can be populated during workshops that does not require a post-it note. Need
Yeah.
ability to easily add rows and columns without drawing individual
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, a table essentially. Yes. This is something that actually we have designed because we're making really some profound architectural changes in our technology. The first one was changing the rendering engine. Then we're making other deeper changes in the front end, in the canvas, I would say, what you see. We have been delaying the development of that of adding tables and grids into Mural, but also adding smart tables that have like smarter functionality. But that's something that, like, part of that theme that I mentioned, like the visual thinking canvas and helping teams think, it's also embracing new type of elements in the canvas, and one of them probably will be tables because it's one of the most requested ones, but also because we observe that tables are everywhere, right? If you see a mural, like this could be a table of post-its, right? So there are implicit tables and grids everywhere, and we will be embracing that in 2021.
Great. Okay, so last question before I move on to, like, you know, earlier I had asked people to share their favorite memories of Mural. So we'll go back to that in a minute. But last question before we do that. What's the most exciting thing on the roadmap to you personally?
It's hard to pick. I would say that everything that we have planned on this, we call it internally, we call it insights and the visual thinking canvas. It's really exciting, but also all the integrations that we will be releasing along the year are really exciting too. But not because of the integrations per se, it's because blending Mural into our members' workflows, it's something that's truly important for us. But I would, if I had to pick, it's the visual thinking canvas and insights developments that will come along the year.
Yeah, I agree totally. That's so exciting. Okay, so I just want to share a couple of the memories people had written in earlier. Some awesome stuff here. So Vikram wrote, he decorating Christmas trees and mural with colleagues and having fun. So that sounds like a nice you know, team activity, a nice fun icebreaker. Okay, Christine is enjoying using Mural in her volunteer work. It helps organize thoughts and engage participants in our strategy. Gail for agile project teams with customers, digital workshops, etc. She runs an onboarding game for new employees on Mural. It was simply fabulous. Yeah, I've done some of that too. It is so much fun. And Charmian, okay, apologies for not pronouncing names properly, ran a digital workshop across 4 countries. And it's great for idea generation and voting. And another new one just came in. So Jeremy's most exciting moment in Mural is, I'm just going to read what he wrote. When I shared my agile strategy method in Mural with one of the oldest school technological scaredy cats that I know, he lit up with excitement and said, I wish we were doing this 40 years ago when I started consulting. It's awesome. So, well, I guess we're going to probably wrap up a little bit early, give everybody a few minutes back in their day. So Agus, thank you so much for sharing today. It's really inspiring to hear all of these stories and how Mural has helped so many companies deal with the challenges this year. And I'm really excited to see all the cool things you were talking about that we're going to do in the coming year. So thank you.
No, thank you, Kit, and thank you everyone for being here. It's been a great year for us, and I hope that 2021 will be a even better year. So thank you.
Yeah. And yes, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. And we're going to wrap up with one last piece of exciting feature news. We just launched a seasonal update to our Celebrate function. And wait for it. There it is.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.